First, apologize that I came in late. As you know, we have several, they're only scheduled at the same time. I will be looking at your testimony, your written testimony, and I want to thank the chairman. We have a chairman who's a visionary, and we're lucky to have him there to be able to touch on things like this that other, I might say that other chairmen that I've served under were not quite as willing to go into these type of areas because they were afraid of ridicule. I mean, you can see it. Oh, they're out searching for aliens in outer space, and we need to have a very serious and discussion on your mission and what's going on. And let me just note that I have been a longtime supporter personally of developing telescopes, of deep space missions, as well as astronomy in general, and knowing that with astronomy we can determine truths that are happening out there that affect our knowledge even of molecular structure and how it works here on the land. So, and I will have to tell you that my support, they didn't have to twist my arm in order to get my support for those projects. I have first of all, let me just ask this, and then my son, I have a 12-year-old son, and he would just die if I did not ask this question. With what we know now and how you have now just expanded our understanding of how far reality goes out from our planet, with that in mind, here's my son now, is time travel possible?
If you're willing to go to the future, you can do, and you're doing it right now. Going to the past seems to violate some basic tenets of physics. There's a book out about time travel, a new one, actually, your son may want to read. And I think it's by Gleich, the same guy who...
But actually, some of the things you're doing now and you're studying will give us understandings maybe 100 years from now on something that may be an incredible breakthrough for humankind, like the idea that it's possible to have time travel.
Yeah, well, one should never discount the possibility of new physics that changes one's attitude. But at the moment, I would bet against it.
Yeah, if I could comment, I don't know about time travel, but I always thought that travel to other stars was impossible. But, you know, there's a private group out in California called Breakthrough that is studying Project Starshot. They want to send a spacecraft to Alpha Centauri, and so that's something that I never thought was going to happen, but it's not impossible.
Not impossible, not impossible?
Time travel, I would hedge against. I think I agree with Dr. Shostak. But certainly the excitement about space travel, that's something that is very recent and honestly, technologically very possible.
The short answer is I don't know, but the one thing I've learned in looking at science is never discount options.
Okay. Now, again, I'm going to have a plebeian approach to my questions, and that is, I watch the History Channel, and I watch various things that are presented on about things that we may have spotted on things like Mars, where there are objects that appear to be walls. Are all of those objects, have you just written them off and they're not products of other civilizations?
I think it's safe to say they are not. I get emails and phone calls every day from people who claim they have good evidence for aliens visiting the solar system. And I wish it were true. I wish it were convincing. It would be job security for me, after all. But if you look at most of these claimed artifacts found on Mars by people who go through, for example, the rover photos and so forth. I mean, they find, little statuettes. They find critters like lizards. They find ocean-going creatures. There's also a Nazi helmet. This may be news to you that the Wehrmacht actually went to Mars. All of this are examples of pareidolia, which is to say, like looking up in the clouds, you can see almost anything you want.
Yeah. You rule out that any of these things, objects that we see, are indicating of some life form?
There may be life on Mars, but I don't think it's manifest in
Right.
these images.
What about you, sir?
I agree with what Seth said, and the images are not convincing. I don't see as many as Seth does, but I'm interested in looking for Mars in the subsurface, looking for life in the subsurface.
And
Yeah, I would also say I'm not convinced. I mean, we have evolved as a species to have incredible pattern recognition powers, and so we find patterns in lots of things. Outstanding claims require outstanding evidence.
Same here. Basically, I've been personally involved in more than one of these instances where something comes up, and we tend to deploy a great scientist to go look at this. In some cases, it's just a camera effect. You know, you look at your own pictures and you see kind of weird things just because of how camera works, and sometimes it's like what he says. You know, it's the lion in the clouds, that type of thing.
well, I know we're getting a great deal of understanding from your labor and your effort that you're putting in to this project, a great deal of a better understanding of the nature of the universe. And we appreciate that, and we appreciate your advice to us on how to be realistic about that as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rohrabacher. The gentleman from California, Mr. McNerney, is recognized.